Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I'll be doing a ship with me video. In these videos I go day to day and I share the different items that I'm shipping out. I talk about how much they sold for, what I paid for them, and what my profit is. So you want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some different things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting or when you're out at estate sales. So let's get started. The first item sold on cherish.com, and Cherish is a website that you can sell home decor and furniture. This is a large size brass penguin statue. I just thought this was so cute. Brass doesn't sell quite as good as it used to, but because of this large size, that's one of the reasons I picked it up. It was also only $5. This ended up selling for $100 plus a $5 packaging fee, which is in addition to the shipping fee that the buyer pays. So a total of $105. I'm super excited about that sale. Did I say I paid $5 for it, which was a great price? Cherish charges a 22% seller's fee. So after their fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $78. I think that is a wonderful profit. I'm very happy with that. I am going to package this up off camera and I'll move it out of the way so it doesn't get broken. For those of you who are interested in tips on packaging breakable or unique items, I do have a video that talks about how I package my breakable items. Okay, let's see. I'll actually read you what my title was for that. Vintage brass penguin statue, life size, large, 11 inches tall. It wasn't quite life size, maybe of a baby penguin, but I wanted to get across that it was a large size statue. And that was listed, it was listed for 3 or 4 months, so it took a little while to sell. And all the other items today sold on Poshmark. The first item is this vintage stretch bracelet, and it buckles to close, which is really cool and unique. This is either from the 1940s or 1950s. I'm not certain which. I picked it up just because I thought it was just a cool and unique piece. It had been listed for quite a while, maybe 6 to 8 months, and I had it listed for $49. Let's see, doesn't look like that box is gonna work, so I'm gonna have to find a different one, but it ended up selling for $44. I had paid $1 for it. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $34.20. I think that is pretty great for a $1 investment. The next item that sold is this pair of Larimar earrings, and Larimar is the stone type on these, and it's just this pretty aqua color. These are set in sterling silver and they are clip-on earrings. These sold quite quickly. I think Larimar is a popular or desirable stone, but it's still, you know, semi-precious. It's not a fine stone or anything. And these sold for $33. I think I had them listed for only a couple of weeks. I paid $1 for these. One of my estate sale companies, they used to price all their jewelry really cheap, and recently they have increased the prices on a lot of the items. So I think the first couple days they had these priced at $8, so I didn't buy them. And then on the third day, they have all green tags are $1, and then the other tags are half off. So I've been going back on the last day and just loading up on all their jewelry when it's $1, because most of it is a green tag. So that has been great. I used to pay, you know, $3 or $5 for the jewelry, which I still thought was reasonable. But I like paying $1 better. So certain items that are definitely worth it, I will pick up the first day and pay more for. But other items, like I didn't want to pay $8 for those. That wouldn't have been worth it. Okay, did I say my profit was $25.40? I'm not going to complain about that at all. The next item is just this sterling silver band ring, and it has kind of a textured rope design. This ended up selling for $20. I did hope to get more for it, but it had been listed for quite a while, I think over a year. So when the buyer offered me $20, I just decided to go ahead and accept it because I had only paid $3 for it. So that still left me with a nice little profit. For those of you who haven't watched my videos before, I use these little boxes from the dollar store. These are in the food storage area. I like them because they're pretty sturdy, and a lot of my customers have commented on these little boxes and said how they can reuse them. And I like, you know, if I'm going to use something for packaging, I like people to actually be able to reuse it. Plus there's 10 of them in a package, and whatever the Dollar Tree charges now, $1.29 or $1.39, so that makes them pretty affordable. And for my ribbon, I only get my ribbon at yard sales and thrift stores because I figure people are going to throw it away. And then my thank you stickers, I used to get them off Amazon, but I recently got both of these off that website. I think it's called Temu, T-E-M-U, and they were only like $1.50 for 500. They are a little bit smaller, but I think they work just fine, and I think that is pretty affordable. So did I say my profit was $13 after posh fees and my cost of goods? Okay, pretty much everything I sold over the last few days was vintage or semi-vintage, so that makes me happy. This is a vintage 80s or 90s REI Adirondack jacket, and it's kind of a half zip. I picked it up because I liked these vibrant colors on it, and just has that, you know, kind of iconic 80s look to it. I remember having a similar one that was bum equipment when I was younger, so I guess it kind of brought back memories. This ended up selling for $30. It was listed quite some time, probably 6 or 8 months. I only paid $3 for it, so I thought $30 was an okay sales price. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $21. My sales have been pretty slow lately on Poshmark, so I have been more eager to accept offers as long as they're reasonable. You know, if I'm still making a decent profit and I can move out some inventory, make some money, and make room to bring in more inventory, then I am happy with that. I keep forgetting whether I've said my profit or not. $21 was my profit on that item. And then another kind of similar jacket. I don't think this one is quite as vintage. It's Nike. I think it just was maybe made to have a vintage look, but I thought it was cool how it had this kind of blocked out logo on it. So that's one of the reasons I picked it up. I just thought it was kind of unique. It's a real lightweight jacket. I would assume it's probably for jogging or could be even for cycling. I'm not sure. But it ended up selling for $40. I also looked up comps on this when I found it before I bought it because it was $6. So I just grabbed it because it looked vintage. And then when I looked up comps, it looked like this style had decent comps. I think this was listed about 6 months, so took a little while to sell, but not a crazy long time. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $26. If you're new to my videos, I try and keep my profit above $25 per item, but as you've seen on some of the sales so far, that doesn't always happen. We always have the best intentions when we're buying items, but you really never know what someone is going to pay for something. Okay, so this item is a vintage cityscape sweatshirt. Again, I picked this up just because it had kind of an 80s vibe to it. I just thought it was fun and funky, and it was in nice condition. It ended up selling for $28. I had paid $1.50 for this. That was the other reason I picked it up, because it was pretty affordable. Let's see, I think I'm going to put that in there. And this took 3 or 4 months to sell, so not a super long time. Sometimes vintage takes a little bit longer to sell, but I don't mind waiting for the right buyer if it means I get a little bit higher price for my items. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $20.90. Also a nice little profit. I'm kind of surprised that I'm selling jackets and sweaters this time of year, because where I am, it is in the 90s, but I'm sure it's not that warm everywhere. Okay, the next item is this vintage Liz Claiborne sweater, probably from the 90s. You can see it has that vintage label. I just picked it up because it was vintage. It was this really chunky knit, and I think, yeah, it was 100% wool. Also, this was at a fill the bag sale that one of my churches does, and it's fill a giant garbage bag for $5. So my average cost of goods for this trip was 15 cents per item. So I only paid 15 cents for this sweater. So when I'm there, it's just kind of, you know, I'll grab anything that is somewhat interesting, because even if I only sell it for $20, if I'm paying less than $1 for it, that is still a great return on my investment. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15.85. It is Wednesday, July 5th, and I was gone all weekend, camping, fishing, boating. So it was beautiful weather. So there will be at least 2 more clips in this video. Hopefully I have more great sales to share with you. I'm trying to stay positive, but my sales just have not really been that great overall. I've had a couple really great weeks, but not consistent sales like I used to have. So I hope all your sales are better than mine. And if you're enjoying my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. It's totally free and it really helps me out. It tells YouTube that people are enjoying my videos, and so YouTube suggests my videos to more people. Okay, I will see you in a couple days to share what else I sell. It's a few days later. It's actually Saturday, so this will be the last clip for the video. I've got a few things to ship out, and I'm going to focus on being thankful for that because it's kind of been a slow week, but typically June and July are my slowest months, and I looked at my June results and I was down about 10% on Poshmark from last year, but I was up a crazy amount on Cherish from last year. So that definitely balances it out, and I'm just going to focus on that and realize that I may have to shift my business model and focus more on the hard goods and possibly cross-list to other sites. Okay, so the first item that sold was this belt. No big surprise. It's kind of a gray blue color. This ended up selling for $27 and it sold quite quickly. I think within a week or two. I did, because it was slow, I did send out 20% off offers with discounted shipping on everything in my closet. And then I waited almost 24 hours and I sent out 30% off offers with discounted shipping on everything in my closet. So I think everything except one pair of shoes was a result of that, and the buyer accepted those offers. So I'll say it again, if you're having slow sales, be proactive in sending out offers, sharing other people's listings, following other people, just anything to get activity going in your closet. Also, I've had quite a few questions about how I get my belts to look a certain way in my photographs. So what I do is I just take it and I twist it around like this, and can you guys see that? And then I feed it through and buckle it. And then I just take it and I set it, this part underneath and then this part on top, and that's how I photograph it, kind of coiled up like that. I find that it looks larger in the photos, or it's closer up in the photos so people can see it better when it's like that, as opposed to buckling it the full length like this. Do you see what I'm saying? There is certain belts that I do photograph like that if they just won't cooperate, but in general, that's how I like to photograph my belts, and it seems to work. I also, on all of my photos, I use the Photo Room app to white out the background for the first photo. And I have that on every single item in my closet. I personally just like the way it looks. It looks really clean and streamlined, and you know, it keeps the focus on the actual item that you're selling. Also, it is said that for Google search results, so if someone is searching for gray suede belt on Google, that items with a white background will show up higher in the search results on Google. So those are the couple of reasons that I do it. It doesn't really take a lot of extra time to do that, and I just think it makes your closet and your listings look more professional and clean, and it really keeps the focus on the actual item. Is this the small box? I thought oh, this is just kind of a wider belt. Okay, so this sold for $27. I paid $2. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $17.58. I think that's awesome. This next belt is kind of a surprise to me. So this is a semi-vintage fossil belt, and you see how worn and distressed that is. I actually picked this up at an estate sale, and I was just grabbing, when I was in the closet, all the leather belts, because at that sale they were just $1. And when I got home, I saw that this was, you know, pretty distressed and worn out, and so I was like, oh dang. But then I just decided to list it anyways. This also sold quick, in less than 2 weeks, and it sold for $24 for this, you know, worn, distressed belt. So be sure to list those flawed items. Inevitably, they always sell well for me, and they sell somewhat quickly. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I paid $1. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $18.20. Who would have thought for a, you know, kind of worn out or worn in belt? But as I said before, people really seem to like that distressed look, or some people like that distressed look on items. Lots of items today that sold quickly, so that makes me really happy. The next item is this pair of Nautilus seashell earrings. Let's see, I'm trying to get these, so there we go. So they're really pretty. They have iridescent quality. Now these are clip-ons, and I keep saying this over and over again, that I don't always pick up clip-ons, but I have been finding some recently at an estate sale company who is marking most of their jewelry down to $1 on the last day. So I am just picking it up in bulk so that I have easy things to list. Let's see, is that how I want to do that? So these also took less than 2 weeks to sell. I paid $1 for them, like I said, and they sold for $30. I do want to caution you though, for every pair of clip-on earrings that sells quickly, there is at least 20 pairs that take forever to sell. So don't think that all your clip-on earrings are gonna fly out the door or sell for $30. That's, they need to be a pretty special pair to sell for that amount. Usually they sell more like in the $12 to $20 range. But if they're, if they're interesting earrings and they are inexpensive, I will definitely pick them up. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $20.98. I think that's great. I always love it when items sell quickly and for a nice little profit. Okay, so this is a great sale, the next item. So these are duck feet comfort shoes, and I had never heard of this brand. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that logo or not. I'd never heard of this brand, but I was at a trailer park per se for senior citizens, and they had a park-wide sale, and I came up and I saw this little flag on these, and so I asked how much they were, and he said $3. So I just decided to pick them up because typically these Swedish shoes are expensive retail, and I'll show you, these weren't really very worn at all. So I thought for $3 I'll take a chance. And then I got home and I saw that these have a pretty high retail price. I think it was like $169 or $189, and they also have a really great resale value. So I listed these for, I think, $149 or $129, and I got an offer for $100. I just decided to take that quick flip and accept it. It looked like the other comps were in the $100 to $125 range for this style. These were also a very large size for women. They were a size 42. So according to the shoe size chart for duck feet, that translates to a 10.5 or 11. So I just thought I'm going to go with that $100 and move these in and move them out quickly and take that $77 profit. So that's my profit after Posh fees and my cost of goods. So the next item is nowhere near as exciting, but this is something that I bought for myself and I didn't end up wearing it. So I am glad to just get it out of my closet. It is just a pair of these kind of Tiva style espadrille wedge sandals, and these are just universal thread from Target. I picked these up at the Goodwill and I paid $5 for them. I actually picked up 2 pairs and they had a slightly different print here, and I was just gonna keep one and return the other pair, but I never ended up exchanging them and they were just sitting there. So I listed them. These also sold very quickly. And I think I listed them for $19 maybe. And I'm not sure if these sold for the 20% off or 30% off offer, but they ended up selling for $13 with discounted shipping. So more like $11. But still probably more than I could have gotten at a yard sale. And they took, I think, less than a week to sell. So like I said, I had paid $5 after Posh fees and my cost of goods. That made my profit $3.03. But I kind of look at that as just $13 in my pocket because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten that much. So like I said, not my best week. I did want to say thank you on one of my last videos. Well, all of my videos. You guys are so positive and encouraging, and I really feel like you guys are rooting for me, which is such a great feeling to know that people are really you know, want to see you succeed. And I feel the same way about all of you guys. That's why I share this information, because I want to help other people succeed and learn. And it's just a really great feeling. So thank you so much for your kind comments. Okay, so this week, my total sales were $514. My total cost of goods was $32.65. And my total profit after Posh fees, my cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $371.14. Absolutely nowhere near where I need to be or I want to be. Of course, the $1,000 profit is always my goal, but it's not always a reality for me. I am going to be working on also getting more of my furniture listed. Over the last month or so, I have bought quite a bit of vintage or mid-century furniture, and I just have been lazy and have not got it listed. So I'm going to get it listed locally, and hopefully I can have some good quick sales from that, because there's usually great profits on furniture and it sells for higher amounts. So keep your fingers crossed for me. If I haven't already mentioned it in this video, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and it really helps me out. It really encourages me, and it tells YouTube that people are enjoying my videos. So YouTube suggests my videos to more people, which helps my channel grow. And you know, I do make some money making this channel, or making my videos, but it's really not very much, and it would be great if I made more money. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, those things really help me out too. So thank you again so much for watching and for all your kind comments. I will see you guys next week.